emoji.
Martin Lewis has his own emoji.
We've had emojis. These emojis.
Is it Kardashian? Talking about emojis?
Yeah, because the new iPhone has you can make an emoji your face. So say she's probably gonna make a
Well, I was gonna say, but she doesn't display any emotion. She looks exactly the same all the time. So, how could you tell? Right. I'm angry. I'm thrilled. I can't tell the difference.
I think we're okay here actually. But we can leave it up in case we need to.
Okay, then the people that I'm not saying, so the folks who will be here won't know how to do any of this stuff, so it's pretty easy. You'll just control here on the mouse.
More copies of the agenda.
And then the only other thing you have to do is kind of this wall switch, and then will retract and turn off, and there are no more buttons you need to worry about.
Okay. Good.
We have pancakes, food, and yeah.
How about that shark one?
I don't know where
Would you lose?
We have an agenda, and raise your hand if you want an agenda.
What do you need? Oh, the marker. Yeah, I think there's more agendas up there.
I'm just wondering, like, nice to meet you.
Stay.
That's me. Stay.
Stay.
So, I was under like a little tiny tree.
Yeah,
This
sure,
restaurant
right,
next to
right,
it,
right.
and they just put on
Marker.
sprinkler. I was like, I was I know, I was like, I would be so stupid if I don't go stand over there, so I went. It was like completely a different experience. It was like it just cooled
Yeah.
down.
Oh, maybe we need to get a misting system. Can you have many people there?
A lot of people walking by.
Yeah, so that's a good location. So like maybe those locations that
I won't
maybe
get in front of
are.
urban outfitters unless it's like
Yeah. Well, soon
yeah.
but yeah.
And then I went to get water from the restaurant.
A modern mic and an old school looking case.
I tried to make a video. What is it, Facebook Live video?
See, it makes me nervous to do Facebook Live video because it's like, because you can't. I've seen so many people do dumb ones where it's like,
Well, mine was
And once it goes out, you can't come back.
I know.
You just say something by accident. And
my test would be.
Yeah, screw it.
it's a one-way street, right?
Yeah.
I was just pointing at the bike and the street, so that's what I was planning on doing, but.
Well,
Or sometimes it'll go to that and you're like, no, I didn't want to do that.
Usually it takes 2 or 3 steps to launch it, but
Yeah.
I've done it by, no, I don't want it now.
When I put it on, it was on my face. When I thought it was recording.
All right. So is it working?
Yes. Yes.
Are we live?
Live. Low
Hi.
quality, but live.
I came up with this girl, she was doing her.
Shall we begin?
And I was actually
Live video.
working girl.
So if you're watching and you're a member and you haven't voted, we're going to be talking about, we're going to introduce everybody. We've had 18 votes received. So 18 people have voted, 16 people have not voted. So,
Board members.
all right. Are we ready?
Are we ready on your end, Dave?
She emailed it to me.
I can't hear you. I got headphones on.
She emailed it to me. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I was just pointing at the bike and the street, so I just.
I don't know.
I was like, I was just pointing at the bike and the street, so I just.
Would you lose?
I can't help with this girl. She was doing her.
I can't hear you. I got headphones on.
get started. So it's good to see so many people here and some nominees. So for those of you who haven't joined us before, we're Phoenix spokespeople, and we formed in 2012. And we've just been working on getting organized. So the first 3 years were just kind of figuring out, how do we do this? What's our mission? What are we going to, what do we want to accomplish? How do we get organized? What's our name? What's our logo? So then finally in 2015 we got our nonprofit status and an official board as well. So now we are ready for voting for a new board, which is exciting and bittersweet, so I can't talk about it because I don't want to cry. But so we've got about 40 minutes left in voting. And so why don't we go around and we'll all introduce ourselves. I know that not everybody is a nominee for the board, but if you are, let us know your name, and if you're a nominee, what you are nominated, what you've nominated yourself for. I know that was kind of awkward to nominate yourself, but that's how we did it. And if you're not nominated, just your name and what you're not nominated for. So, Bill, you want to start?
I will start. My name is Bill McComas, and I am the current Vice President of Phoenix Spokespeople. I am running for president. It seems like the logical way to go. I've been with PSP since shortly after the inception, a couple months after it was initially founded as DBAG, but been here through the whole nonprofit, figuring that out and getting us started, and we've been to a lot of meetings and a lot of council meetings and budget hearings and one-on-ones with city officials, so we've come a long way, and I'm eager to take the next step and lead us to where we're going to go next.
Lead us into temptation.
Lead us into, well, me, absolutely. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next page and moving forward with PSP. We've got a lot of work done. We got a lot of work to do, and I'm excited.
I'm Laura Sands. I nominated myself to be a member at large, and I have lived in Phoenix for 4.5 years, and I primarily get around by bike, except when I go to Trader Joe's, then I take the car, and I care deeply about bicycle parking. I hate locking up to things that aren't meant to be locked up to, and mostly I end up telling people like baristas, and they're like, what can I do? And I'm like, well, tell your boss. Maybe you could invest in your infrastructure. And they're like, So, this is my husband. I mostly frequent businesses that have great bike parking, and I tell them so too. But I think we could do a lot better in terms of either putting up signs that say, hey, guess what, there's bike parking in the garage, because they do that for cars, or actually installing some parking on the streets. That's me.
My name is Zach Coleman. I've already been introduced as the husband. Guilty pleasure, let's see. We have 5 bicycles, 1 unicycle, and until recently a tricycle at home. And I think my bicycling claim to I have nothing to do with the board, sorry.
But you're a member.
But yes, I am a member, true. A very new member. My cycling claim to fame is I used to commute 5 miles each way during the Minnesota winter by unicycle on a 3-inch stone.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello.
Hey, Dave.
Right, where do we go? This way around?
Yeah.
I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I do IT things at PSP and a few other non-profits. And I ride my bike every day. I do require internet connection. Usually, that's my only bike and an internet connection. So, got 1 out of 2 today.
We don't have one
It's
now.
been. Say again?
We have no internet right now.
Some genius bought their hotspot, so we're live streaming over Verizon, which
Oh
it
my.
seems to be holding up. but I'll bill you for the data.
That's why you're a wizard.
Yes, also, it's being live streamed, so your opinions are on the internet. I think that's it. Oh, and yeah, I've nominated myself to stay as a member at large, since I do all the website and Facebook and payments. Is that it? And the newsletter.
IT in general.
Yeah.
Data wizard.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Brandy Porter. I am a downtown resident. I'm a spokespeople member. I used to work here and I work in the mayor's office now. So
I didn't know that.
I know.
the big news.
Congrats.
So, thank you. Yeah, 7 weeks there. And I mean, I've been like car light for, I haven't owned a car in like 5 years, I think now. So been on, been biking the streets for a while today and experienced it all. And I've always been an advocate for more bicycle infrastructure and that sort of thing. So yeah, that's my opinion.
And you are a nominee, correct?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't nominate myself. I
People
think
can be drafted, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
or dragged into that.
It's not too late.
Right.
Maybe give me like a couple months to settle into
All
the
right.
new. That's been the big thing, is
Fair
trying
enough.
to settle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Omar Peters. Nominated myself for member at large for the board. I think my day job, I work as a transportation planner for Valley Metro. I think I've been living in the Phoenix area now for 2 years, a year and a half in Tempe, 6 months in Phoenix, which is why I'm now looking to get myself involved with PSP. I think one of the big things that Phoenix is kind of lacking is taking a good hard look at how safe their streets are. Every day, on average, a person on a bike is hit by a car. I think if we take a look at that more in depth and kind of hone in on the fact that our streets are not safe, that we can really rally together everyone who needs to be involved and make improvements to those streets to make it safe for everyone, not just people on bikes, but people walking, people in cars, people using transit, just everyone involved. Just really interested in getting involved and trying to make our streets safe for everybody.
Hi everybody, my name is Rocky. I'm a Phoenix resident downtown Phoenix resident for about 8 months now. And I'm just a member. I didn't nominate myself for anything. Might next year or whatever. I'm not sure what my role would be, but it might be something interesting. I'm a local architect. I work regularly in an architecture office, and so for me, I think what you brought up about bike parking, that in combination with street design will be the two biggest things that I'd like to focus on. Or if I have any services to provide in terms of helping you guys represent ideas, or I regularly participate in design competitions and things, so and I'm pretty digitally savvy, so it'll be cool to kind of dovetail with some of the digital stuff going on.
I'm Natasha. I nominated myself as a member at large. I joined PSP in 2013. Let's see. I'm a proud grid bike ambassador. I work downtown and I live downtown, so I try to bike as often as I can. And I just started as a planner for Parks and Rec. And
And you're currently on the PSP board.
currently, yes.
I'm Yvette, Natasha's sister, and I've been part of PSP since 2013, and I'm currently a member at large, and I nominated myself to be a member at large again. And I'm a Grid Bike ambassador. I work every Tuesday for Grid Bike, and I was a teacher until I had my son, so I'm going back to teaching next year when he's in kindergarten. So, and then what else? I ride with him a lot, so I would like it to be safer. I want protected bike lanes, not just bike lanes. So that's the biggest thing for us, because he's scared when he's on the back of my bike or the front. He's like, I can feel him so scared. So, and I don't want to do that to him. So when the cars drive by, they get so close to us, and it's ridiculous. So I've been riding him in parks lately. So
Parks that Natasha will be planning.
Yeah, I took him to the meeting for the park planning, and I told him they were trying to take down a bike lane, and he was like, no, they can't take down this protected bike lane. So I'm getting him ready to fight too.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Annie Eldon. I nominated myself to be a board member at large. I've been on the board for the past 2 years, and I've been with with PSP since the beginning, more or less. My big things in PSP has been to help more with some events. I help with Bike Bazaar, which is an event in the fall, and then I help get prizes for Bike Prom in the spring, and then I help with various rides and things where is needed. So that's me.
Margaret Ruffin, this is my first meeting, so not nominated.
But not
happy
your
to be
first,
here.
not your first time with us.
No, not my first time. I've met Yvette and Natasha a couple of years ago, and Lisa. So I'm happy to be here finally to show up for me. Yay!
Thanks for coming.
Hopefully it won't be my last.
I'm Sean, member, not running for anything. Part of the Urban Phoenix Project, and really biased.
Nice.
Happy to have a member on, 2 members on the Urban Phoenix Project, as well as Phoenix spokespeople. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Urban Phoenix Project, but they also are a grassroots community organization very interested in not only bicycling, but walkability, urban form, right? So a little bit more, yes. Yeah, so happy to have you here.
And now on Instagram.
And now what?
Now on Instagram.
On Instagram, I'm Suzanne Day. I am currently a member at large on the PSP board. I've been involved, I think, since about 2012. Not quite as early as some of you guys, but pretty close. And I am running, again, for member at large. I work for Valley Metro, and I do much of their bicycle outreach, the Valley Bike Month events in the spring, and they generously allow me to spend time supporting fun stuff. So, but I did not choose to run for vice president because sometimes PSP needs to be able to boss around some of the cities. And the agency I work for is a member agency, and I wasn't comfortable with that. So I'll be in the background telling you guys what to say. Right? Just like he's good at. So, happy you're here. Thanks for coming.
My name is Joe Perez. I'm the bicycle coordinator for the City of Phoenix. I've been a part of PSP since the very, very beginning. The first meeting at JoBot many years ago. I've been riding bikes for 30 plus years, and I love riding a bike everywhere I go. I have a folding bike and cargo bikes, lots of bikes. As Omar said, crashes, there's at least one bicyclist hit a day on average in the City of Phoenix. It's a little bit closer to like 1.2. It's almost 500 people getting hit by a bike, and a handful of fatalities, usually anywhere from 5 to 12. Lots of serious crashes. You're about 80% likely to be seriously injured if you get hit by a car. The city needs a Vision Zero plan. It needs a bicycle collision reduction plan. It needs a pedestrian safety action plan. It needs a number of things that this organization should be championing at all times. The budget hearings in April are instrumental for attendance to demand the city continue to invest in its infrastructure and allocate funding for safety projects. That being said, the Grand Canal began construction on Monday. In a year from now, yes.
Finally.
Yay! A year from now, it'll be a concrete path from Tempe, about 56th Street, all the way to 23rd Avenue with protection and crossings, signalized crossings, and some crossings will need to be further improved from the RRFBs that they're currently slated for to at least a hog. 15th Avenue specifically, and probably 12th Street as well. But that's an issue to tackle at a later date. 31st Avenue, as Yvette and Natasha were talking about, is under threat. Grand Canyon University is trying to do some kind of land swap for the park on the west side of 31st Avenue to something on the east side of 31st Avenue. And they want to take the pathway that's the only, it's a pedestrian and bicycle exclusive corridor from Missouri down to Camelback. And there's a petition online that says Save Little Canyon Trail on change.org. I encourage all of you to go to change.org and search for the words Save Little Canyon and sign that petition so that can be delivered to the mayor and city councilmen and other people to save that trail from being removed. I am running for member at large, and usually my role as a member at large is to be the liaison between Bike Lab, the city obviously, and any other kind of liaison except for beer, which Bill does.
Admirably, by the way.
Yes.
I'm also a member of the Arizona Bicycle Club, and I'm familiar with the Coalition of Arizona Bicyclists as well, so there's lots of things that I try to help with throughout the valley.
How do you follow that? I'm Sherry Geis, and I do nominate myself as a member at large. I've been helping out with new memberships for the last couple of months, and that's what I'd like to continue doing, if you'll have me. I'm actually a native of Phoenix, and I've been riding for well over 30 years, and during that time I haven't seen a whole lot of improvement in the infrastructure. So I also have two daughters that live and work downtown, and that's their primary transportation is bike, and they both have been hit on their bikes, one of them twice. So yeah, I definitely want to see all of the stuff that Joe was talking about. I mean, it's time, you know. I mean, back when I was first riding almost 35 years ago, there weren't a lot of people riding, and there wasn't a big push for alternative transportation. But it's exciting to see things going in that direction, and you know, I want to be a part of, you know, helping guide things, you know, so that it is safer for bike riders and, you know, pedestrians and everything. So yeah, that's it.
Welcome. So I am Lisa Parks, and I sort of became pseudo-president when we formed in 2012. It was actually founded by Anna Warble. So a lot of you know Anna. And then she sort of wasn't expecting it to become this big thing. She was trying to get people together on a Facebook group. And then all these people were like, we want this, we need this. And it started getting bigger. And so she was like, I don't really want to be leading this big group. Could you start leading and doing the agendas and everything? So okay, so I sort of stepped into that role for the first 3 years, and then we had our formal board that was formed, and so then I formally became president for the last 2 years. So now I am nominating myself for member at large to sort of take a little bit of a step back. I have a lot going on. And I work for Grid Bike Share, so I do marketing and community outreach, and Omar likes a lot of the Grid Bikes posts. I always see your name. And so what my intention is actually to be the Bike Share liaison, which I think we really need to increase membership, because now we have over 18,000 people who have signed up for Grid memberships. Granted, not everybody lives in Phoenix. You know, there's visitors, and so we have you know, a big ridership. Sean is one of our top riders. His girlfriend Chelsea. I think you guys are still number 1 and 2. So his girlfriend Chelsea is number 1. Yeah. So yeah. Yep. So I think if we can kind of tap into that. And it's also a great way to get grants, is, you know, partnering up and getting grants and just getting more people involved. So that's what I would like to focus on now, is connecting Bike Share with PSP. So with that being said, if you haven't voted, you can access the link that was sent on your email. And we're going to keep voting open until about 6, for about another 30 minutes.
It is all on. It is all online, unless anybody would care to do a show of hands here today, that we could count them up. But
Yeah. Well, we have
we
all.
will have to add them. Yes.
Yeah, we've got. They'll all be added on OpenVote. So everybody who is a member was sent your own personal link to vote. We'll take a look at that. Let's see. So we've had 18 votes received. So more than half of our members have actually voted. So that's really good.
Better than a presidential election. We had a bigger turnout percentage than
Yes.
most general elections in the U.S.
Yes,
so
but look at this
we got that going for us.
So Bill is going to talk about work that we do and work that we need to still do and what we've been up to.
Well, membership is kind of our big push here lately, getting more people involved in the organization, get more voices out there, more people on bikes, and I think we'll have a bigger impact. For the last, 5 years, there's been a small number of people, a small number of us going to these meetings and writing letters, and it's usually the same faces. I think it's going to be a lot more productive and a lot more, get better results if it's a different face every time that says, I want a bike lane here, I need more infrastructure than a stripe of paint. So we're really going to push with membership drive and getting more people involved. Bicycle benefits is one of the things you get with your membership. You get a sticker you put on your helmet and it shows you're a member of Bicycle Benefits. And then it's a nationwide program that offers discounts to anybody that shows that sticker when they go into business. We're just getting started here in Phoenix. Right now, the Velo Bike Shop and the Bicycle Nomad Cafe in the Velo Bike Shop are 2 vendors so far. But if you travel anywhere, make sure you go on the website and look to see where anywhere you're traveling might be vendors. And I made a 4,000-mile road trip this summer and forgot to check. So don't do that. And we've got several other potential members lined up, and I think once it gets going, it'll cascade, and we'll get a lot of people on board in Phoenix for that. Especially as we grow, we have more of us out there, talking to business owners and explaining how if you put it out, if you put the bike racks out there, we will come. So we're going to work on getting that Bicycle Benefits to grow in the coming year. Bike Rec Committee, we've been doing it slowly but surely. We get some good deals on some used rides, and we've been repurposing them out there in the community, and it's also one of our ways to raise some funds. I may have a new Bike Rec Committee chair here pretty soon, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to pass stuff off, but we'll talk about that. I think we've sold about a dozen or so over the last few years, and we really want to get that going bigger. We've talked about eventually maybe finding somebody to manufacture for us at a good rate, and then we can be a little more customizable. Because right now everything's the same size. And not one bike ride doesn't fit in every place. So down the road we like to get that to grow more than just the one size fits all we've been using. But that has been helpful because there's bike racks in places there would be otherwise. Communications, so we do a newsletter every month. We'll do an email blast if something specific comes up. There may be a community meeting regarding a potential city project. We put an email out for that, people show up to them. Obviously for this meeting with the nominations and getting people out to vote for the nominees, we do an email for that. We try to keep it one a month with the newsletter, then not more than 1 or 2, unless there's really a lot going on. Where am I at? And some of these other things, I think Dave and Suzanne can probably speak better about the MailChimp and the other uses for that. Social media, we use Facebook the most. I try to put stuff out there on Instagram. I know a couple other of us out here put stuff on Instagram occasionally, but we probably should do a little more of that, because I find I get a good Instagram post with lots of good hashtags. Seems like you get more interaction quicker than sometimes Facebook gets lost in the algorithms.
You do.
And then I think Twitter updates on Mac, isn't it, Lisa?
Yeah, Twitter's been automatically going from
Facebook?
Facebook
Okay.
to Twitter.
Member swag. This is something I know Sherry and Suzanne and I have talked about over coffee a couple of mornings. Really like to get some more swag out there. Those of us that initially got PSP going, we have these awesome T-shirts, and every time I wear mine, somebody says, "Where can I get one?" I said, "Well, first of all, invent time travel, and then be there when we're really getting PSP off the ground, and then you can get one." And I've been saying for a year, we're going to get shirts for everybody else, I promise. We haven't done it yet, so I think that's really something to focus on the coming year too. We've talked about, I think we talked about one time getting a tea bag, put out an email or a Facebook post rather, with like several different graphics that were just fun or funny or serious or whatever about bikes. And I think they have a vote thing where you can pick your favorites, and those are the ones they printed. So I think maybe we do something like that. One of our regulars just sent me a Facebook message with one he came up with, and there's no hold on to that because eventually we're going to look for designs for T-shirts or other swag, something we can get out there, and eventually we wanted to give members T-shirts, right?
Yeah, our membership pitch said that members will be offered a discount on PSP branded swag, yes, whether it's shirts or socks or whatever. So you just need somebody to design that swag and.
Is it swag or swag?
Depends on if you're John Romero or not.
Okay. What is, I always do
I say
swag.
swag.
I say swag.
That's a fancy way of
Maybe.
saying.
I didn't think I was saying swag.
That's right, yes, you're right, he's right.
I don't hear the
Sean's right,
difference.
it's merch.
Merch.
Merch,
Yeah, merch
yes,
is
merch.
Yeah,
That's true, if you're giving it
That's true,
away.
yeah.
This
If
is
you're giving-
swag.
That's swag, and merch on it. I still like swag better. But yeah, you're right. I know one of us in this room vocally, and another one of us less vocally, really like socks. So PSP socks, we got to think about. And I'd like to see water bottles, just some basic stuff like that. Like Grid's done so much of that stuff. I think we should kind of follow suit.
Yeah, water bottles are super easy.
Yeah.
Socks are not. That's,
Yeah.
The spokes on the wheel of the bike are really hard to reproduce on socks, but we
But-
just still do it.
Yeah, water bottles would be
We can
good.
do it, and then we do other stuff
Fans
too.
are,
Lightweight, easy to mail.
Yep.
Socks.
useful.
But maybe socks.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So are we no longer using the original logo?
No, that's our logo. That's our
Okay.
official logo for PSP. But we've talked about just making other designs that we can put on shirts and swag and merch.
Okay.
Merch.
Okay.
But I mean, our logo is our logo. Yeah.
Who in the group's been doing graphic design of the logo and that kind of thing in the past?
I did the logo when we first formed.
Yeah. Then some of the other just general stuff, I know Karina's done a lot of it.
Yeah, Karina,
Ishmael did.
Ishmael
Yeah,
did
Ishmael,
some stuff.
Ishmael.
Yvette's
That's-
husband.
Did some of it. It's just kind of been a
Dave's
group effort
done
in there.
some stuff.
We will always
You-
have room for a graphics person.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
did some too with that one
I do
website.
stuff with
where-
Canva,
Yeah.
just some social
So
media
it's
stuff.
just kind of all over.
But
But
yeah.
if somebody's got some graphic design skills, we're always willing
We love
to
graphic
use those.
design skills.
Okay, good, and we like ideas. So bike fund committee, so been a little slow in the summer. We don't do as much because it's hot. We did have a really fun Blazing Saddles ride where we did a ride around between uptown and downtown, and I called it Make Your Own Adventure. Because once we got up to Uptown Plaza, there were a lot of different places to go, and we all ended up at the brewery. But it made it clear that wasn't the only place you could go. Every second Saturday of the month, we have our ride we do with Bicycle Nomad Cafe. We're getting into prime weather for that, so we'll see our numbers go from the 2025 we've been averaging through the summer, the diehards, back to the 40s we get in the late fall through early spring. Biketober's coming up. That's our one of two big bike months. April being the official Valley Bike Month, and then October, the one we took for ourselves and called it Biketober. October 7th is Tour de Fat. Format's changed a little bit this year. It doesn't start till 4 in the afternoon. A little more expensive. The official event doesn't include a bike ride, but I looked today and it's not just bands. They're still doing the vaudeville and circus style sideshows and stuff like that, which I really look forward to.
They're going to close down Mill Avenue.
Yeah, I'm gonna say our friends at 10 feet are pulling together though.
Yeah, so Mill Avenue will be closed down and there'll be like a ciclovia, and I from what I've been told, there is a bike parade, but I don't know if Ryan's calling the ciclovia a bike parade, but he said there's a bike parade. And then
And that's from 12 to
and you
noon.
have vendors 12 to noon.
Well, yeah, 12 to 4.
11 I just got the information. It's actually a little earlier,
Oh, they
unless
changed
it's a setup time, but it's like 11, I think 11 until 5:30 actually.
Okay, and whatever it is.
And then the event is at 4.
I think Tour de Fan officially starts at 4.
Yeah.
So that might be set up and clean up, I don't know. But we'll get that straightened out anyway.
So there will be like a separate bike event.
Right.
And then,
So yeah, Mill Avenue's gonna be closed, I think, for that. PSP and Russ's Book will have a booth there. There'll be other folks with booths, so that should be fun. Then the following weekend, our usual second Saturday ride's gonna be a little different. We're gonna do kind of a destination ride to Tempe, and then we're having a overnight trip that's going to Lost Dutchman. So the people who are doing the overnight trip, we'll kind of send them off. We'll ride to Tempe and let them ride on to Lost Dutchman. And then those of us doing the second Saturday ride back or whatever. And I'm going to step out for a second and let Suzanne tell us all about the Lost Dutchman PSP inaugural Bicycle Nomad Cafe PSP. We don't have an official name for it yet, but
Yeah, I'm looking for a snappy name that's shorter than what he just said. Yes.
Phoenix Spokes Nomads.
Phoenix Spokespeople, Biketober.
Spokemads?
Campout is what I'm thinking, or Biketober Overnight.
That's not much shorter.
Yeah, that's
Biketober Overnight sounds good.
You can make an acronym like the PTTTP.
Yeah.
Phoenix to Tempe, no, Phoenix to Tucson, Tucson to Phoenix, so PTTTP.
Right.
So,
Alright.
But
Phoenix to Lost Dutchman, PTLDLDTLP.
E-I-E-I-O.
Yeah. Well, the plan at this point, as Bill said, is for October 14th and 15th. And we like that date because, as Bill said, that will pair nicely with the second Saturday rides that go out of the Bicycle Nomad Cafe that have been growing in popularity. We came so close last year to getting 50 riders. I want to say we got probably 48 one time. So close. Yeah, everybody will meet there Saturday morning. This will be a SAG-supported ride. If you haven't done a longer ride, SAG stands for Support and Gear.
What's the one-way distance? About 47 miles, 45?
38,
Oh, okay,
38.4 miles. There will be, as I said, SAG support. So basically, my poor family is my hostages during October and April. So my husband will be driving our pickup truck and our fifth wheel trailer. Everybody, the people that are going on the overnight, you bring your bike, your tent, your sleeping bag, your pillow, your lovey, whatever your teddy bear, and we'll load those all in the fifth wheel at Bicycle Nomad before we head out. Don will drive to Lost Dutchman. My daughter will run the rest stop, and we all will ride, as Bill said, toward Tempe. With the folks who are accustomed to doing only the second Saturday rides are like about 18 miles, right, Bill? Round trip?
Yeah, the nice weather, I shoot for about 18 round trip.
Yeah, so those guys are used to shorter rides. So they'll ride with us probably to perhaps Bicycle Saviors in Tempe. Everybody, have a little snack, wave us bye-bye, bid us adieu, and they go back and we go east, and it's going to be fun. It's 38.4 miles, 1,000 feet elevation gain, which is not that much. Rocky.
Can the campsite host hammocks by any chance?
Maybe. I've seen the
Self-contained or need to
photos.
attach it to things?
Attached. We can post, need like vertical.
Yeah, I
Trees are
can't
preferable.
say I've seen a lot of trees. I have looked at the photos of that campground, and it's a nice looking campground. It's right at the base of the
Yeah, but
superstitions.
it's desert.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful, but I haven't seen a lot of big trees.
Yeah, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, but there will be, so the fee, and we're looking at around $25 per person. We have to do the math, and if you know me, you know I don't do math. But fee will include transporting the gear, the camping, the rest stop which will be lunch on the first day, dinner that night, breakfast Sunday morning, and away you go. So it's all camping, it's all tent camping, and it's not gonna be fancy, but I know we've got lots of vegetarians and vegans in the group. Now you vegans, I might need a little support from you because you're better at it than I am. She makes killer vegan mac and cheese.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's really good. So anyway, did I leave anything out? Oh, Ryan Guzzi offered to lead a hike for those who haven't had enough bikes that day. You can lead a hike up a Flatiron Saturday afternoon.
On Flatiron?
And there is
After
also
the
a
bike ride?
saloon nearby if any of you young folks have any energy for Saturday night. And then Sunday morning we pack up and head out, and it's 1,000 feet downhill on the way home. Should be real pleasant.
And how much extra could sleep in the fifth wheel?
Not much.
And the massages are one?
The massages, I am not in charge of the massages. I wish I was. But if people wanted to bring a vehicle, yeah, I don't. But you can bring your tent, bring your whatever, and we'll help you transport. Questions? Super excited, and excited to be working with Teabag on this too.
Yeah.
Because what I'm trying to do is knit together some of these disparate groups. We got short riders and long riders, and spandex wearers and non-spandex, and I want everybody to realize that we have some commonality and we need to support each other.
Like harmony.
And there's a group of Tempe riders who don't want to ride to Tucson because it's 120 miles in one day. And this is going to be hopefully, the ride they glom onto, and that's why the ride should go to Bike Saviors and stop and pick up people as well as drop off the people who want to return to Phoenix.
It's the gateway ride.
Are we limited on the number of riders?
I've spoken to the campground and they said at this point they have plenty of space. I was going to reserve 2 spaces, one for the fifth wheel and one for tents, and I think you can have 12 people in each campsite. So if we get over that, we'll just get another site. Yeah. Yeah. I would prefer to keep it down under about 40 tops because we only, otherwise I'm going to need another site maybe. But yeah.
We'll talk with Ryan about that.
Sure.
Maybe someone from Bike Saviors or Teabag will volunteer side give it to us.
My parents will be welcome. Yeah, if they're that, I think they're getting.
Excellent.
I have the information from Ryan for Tour de Fat just to give an update. So there will be a bike parade. So there's going to be a mini ciclovia and then a bike parade. And Mill Avenue will be closed from 11 to 5 for people to ride bikes, hang out, participate in bike games and promos. There's going to be raffles and all kinds of stuff. So the 11 to 5 Mill Avenue bike parade and ciclovia. So it'll be fun.
Okay.
No hammocks. Ryan Guzzi just texted me. No trees.
Yeah, no trees. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be flat. All right, what else, Bill?
Okay, so the weekend after that is the Bike Bazaar, which Annie is taking ownership of, so I'll let you give a little brief talk about that too.
Okay. So yeah, that's on Saturday, October 21st from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Phoenix Public Market. We are teaming up with them. We've teamed up with them for the past 2 years, so this will be the 3rd annual one. The initial idea that is still happening is to have people who craft or make some type of art into, like, either out of bike stuff or into bike looking things. And so we've gotten people from the past couple of years, and we have, I think, 9 or 10 people sign up to do that again this year. And this year we also decided to add a bike swap where a few different shops from a few different bike shops or people who want to just have a bunch of stuff in their garage and want to sell there can come and rent a spot for only $5 and also 10% of their sales goes to the Phoenix Public Market. And right now we have, I think, 2 people officially signed up for that, and then we have a couple other, I think 3 to 6 maybes.
Yeah, Rush Spokes almost certainly.
Okay.
So
yeah,
who are the other 2?
What?
Who are the other two?
Let's see. I think State Bicycle said they were going to, and then RBD, I think. No, well, I don't remember what it's called.
We'll
Yeah, but and so I have a few other volunteers that are helping me because I'm going back to school. So we are looking for anyone who has direct phone numbers or contacts to people or owners of bike shops that might be interested. We don't want just like the number to the bike shop, but the actual direct phone number so that we can easier get a hold of them easier. Yeah.
Right, so I believe Rage Bicycles will be Rage in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
As well as the Velo and Global Bikes. So there'll be 3 more coming in.
Oh, is the Velo gonna do is the Velo actually gonna bring stuff? Because last time I talked. Well, I haven't talked with them recently, but initially they said they just wanted to do a stand. And
like a repair thing?
Yeah. So if you can talk them in to bring the whole thing, that'd be great.
I will try that.
Okay.
Thanks, Anna.
Yeah.
And we still have a free Saturday in October, in Biketober. So maybe we're way overdue for a Bike Fund Committee meeting. So maybe we can, maybe we want to start thinking about ideas and then
Trick or treat.
in the next couple, something Halloween or sweets related. So that sweet ride we did last year was fun, where we just rode our bikes to a couple of candy stores and ice cream. And we got sugar rushes in the middle of the day. So we'll put together a meeting, here before too long.
I'm headed out. Thank you.
Thanks, Anna.
And we do only have an ambassador until 7 o'clock, guys. Just saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
We'll start burning these.
a lot of stuff we can talk about at the Bike Fund.
Okay, this Friday is Parking Day. That's Stacy Champion's one of our local advocates for a lot of things. She helps put that event together. What we do is we take a stretch of Washington Street between 2nd and 1st Avenues, I think it's the South Curb. Get out there about 6 a.m. to kind of get your stuff in the spots when the week gets parked there. 8 o'clock meters come online, so we feed the meters till 10 o'clock because they're 2-hour meters. And it's just no sales, no promotion, no whatever. It's just a fun, make a park out of it. There's people that have there's always like a marching band that sets up in one of them. Last year somebody had a little, one of those relaxation gardens with the sand thing, and there was an opera singer in one. Valley Metro's be there with bike racks. We're going to kind of crash them, I think, and fill it up with some bikes and make sure there's a good bike presence there. So come to that. Every Friday morning we do Rise and Grind. Every Friday morning I'm in town anyway because usually I'm the host. With that, we meet about 7, hang out, have coffee, have some breakfast, do whatever, and then people leave as they have to go to work. So I usually get there 7 a little before, leave a quarter late, depending on where it's at. We do a different coffee shop every week, and really it's just real casual. Get there when you can, leave when you have to. Have a cup of coffee, maybe have a snack or a breakfast. So, and that varies. Sometimes we get a big turnout. Sometimes it's just a couple of us. Sometimes I'm by myself. It's okay. Luminary Tours, our big one in December. We do a bike ride through the Willow neighborhood with the Luminaries out and pretty much crisscrossing every street and see all those. Our big event of the year is Bike Prom in April. It's a prom for adults. It's on bicycles. It's at a brewery. So
the best time of your life.
yeah, we've had 3 now, and everyone's been a blast. We average about 220 people, give or take, for each one. We start downtown with a bike ride and then ride to the brewery, and the event itself is at the brewery. We usually get about 70 or 80 on the bike ride, and we drive to the Garfield neighborhood, and the kids just will not see us in prom gear riding through the neighborhood. So, Lost Lake Festival is a bike valley opportunity. Dave, you're kind of knowledgeable on this one, aren't you?
Yes.
So I'm going to let Dave speak for a minute.
So Lost Lake
Or 2 or
Festival-
3.
Yes. Lost Lake Festival's coming, and they reached out to us asking if we do bike ballet. So I said yes, and that leads into we should probably form a bike ballet committee.
I think we have a chair for that bike valley committee.
Do we?
I think we do.
we need
But
those
it's
connections
not Friday,
to elect
right?
these positions.
Pardon?
So yeah, sometimes sat on an email saying,
That's
yeah,
Friday.
sure, absolutely.
Yeah, because Teabag approached us last year about kind of taking over doing
I'll do
bike valet for Phoenix events like the Strong Beer Festival and the NCAA Festival, that kind of thing. I tried it with the Strong Beer Festival. We just didn't get enough participation. It was me and Teabag people. So this year we got a pretty good head start on lead time. So I think we really need to push and get Phoenix spokespeople to work the Phoenix events.
Yeah.
Really think we need to represent better there. And with our membership now, and with more outreach than we've had a year ago, I think we can do it. But that's probably something we should start cranking on here pretty soon.
So the one thing I haven't discussed is anything to any terms. Like, do people get it for free? Are we getting paid? Like, what's the nature of the event? And I didn't really want to push on that until we actually had some bike racks and anyone to fill them. So I guess it's a chicken
I think we can
and
get
egg.
bike racks. I know a lady.
I know
Yeah.
yeah.
So do I assume we have infinite bike racks, really?
We
Like-
don't have infinite bike racks. Valley Metro owns 20 of the ones that are handy and easy to move.
Okay.
Those each hold about 6 to 8 bikes, each of those racks.
I'd consider
In
that
addition to
probably-
that, we've got another 15 or 20 that are longer and more cumbersome to move, but each of those will hold about 8 to perhaps as many as 10 bikes.
It also depends on the location of the valet. Like for Strong Beer Festival, it was in a fenced-in area. So in addition to the racks that were set up, you had all the fence area. You can leave bikes on, and they were still secure. So
Yeah.
So assuming we've got racks as many as we need, and we can probably find people, I'll probably just say yes. Do we require payment?
Yeah, so Giovanni and I actually spoke to them way back when, and this is when Gio actually was not even allowed to tell me what this was because it's such a big event. He's like, I can't even tell you what it is, but they want PSP to do bike valet. This was quite a while ago, and I believe that was, going to be a paid thing and stuff. This is a big event, moneymaker. So, yeah, I believe they will be paying, and then Grid's going to do an extra temporary station there, so that our Grid bikes. So,
Well, I think we probably, and I guess the other one is pretty much everyone you mentioned it to before. It's like, cool, I get in for free, right? I don't know if that.
I think it's probably a matter of negotiating that, and
Is that something we want to push
so that we can offer that to people that if you do bike valet, we figure out how many shifts we need. If you do bike valet, you can get in, So I think that would be a good for maybe negotiating and seeing can we get some free tickets for. Well, then they won't be volunteers, but just as.
And then start that
Yeah,
negotiation.
yeah, or if not, then, if we're getting paid, then maybe we can work out some sort of payment or whatever so that, people can get compensated or, so.
assuming the entire event's general admission, there may be a VIP.
I believe they have VIP and then general admission, yeah.
So we could probably, I know like Strong Beer Festival, they always gave us a fistful of general admission passes, and it wasn't an issue, so I would assume the festivals kind of work the same way.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
will proceed on the assumption that we can find out and see what they want to pay, and then we get membership and say yes.
Why did I think he was Friday?
That's good to me. Okay, I think we're kind of on a short time, so we'll kind of list these. I think Dave does a great job on the website. We ask a lot of him. I think we've got some room to maybe get some more pictures and more content up there, but for as busy as we all are, our events are on there and we keep it going, so I think we just need to continue to get that to grow. One thing I added to the agenda, Lisa talked about we want to do more with Grid Bike. I also want to do the same with Rusty Spoke. That's our community bike shop. I'm on the board of that one too, as is Dave. Just try to do more things with them. Like Teabag and Bicycle Saviors have a good relationship. I think we should try and do a similar thing here in Phoenix as well. So with that, do we want to keep going through the agenda and do
We're at 6:30.
results
We
at the
need to
end?
vote. Joe's
Or-
looking for his ballot. Do you know the subject line in that email, Lisa? Just look at ballots.
What you looking for?
Seriously, Joe?
You didn't vote?
You want me to forward you
I'm
the
trying to
email?
vote, but I can't find it in my email inbox.
It's on your,
Is it vote, vote, vote?
Joseph Michael.
Probably went in your-
Lacy.
Probably went in
Gmail.
your updates folder
On your
3 days ago.
said it was white.
I'm sorry, that was on the record.
So question real quick while Joe's trying to figure out how to vote. So under this example section, where of work to be done, where's the politics and advocacy?
Excellent point. That, I would put that perhaps under, it can certainly be in its own place. These are just examples of the kinds of things that need to be done. So politics and advocacy is a good one. I was kind of thinking maybe communications for being the one that helps to, because Lisa, bless her heart, creates a separate Facebook event for every Phoenix budget hearing in the spring. There's like 20. You did that? I'm sorry. I thought Lisa did that a couple.
She was agreeing to it.
Somebody has to create all of us.
You do that when you couldn't vote 3 days ago.
Thank you for catching that. And that's, yeah.
Trying to.
Anytime you're ready to volunteer as a board member, I got a position for you.
Yeah, it
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't
that's
drum.
definitely part of our work. So we do a lot of like fun events to get people involved in riding bikes, to get more people on bikes, but also a big part of our work is meeting with the city, attending budget hearings, going to design charrettes to give input, writing. We write a lot of letters, and look and see what's coming up as far as bike infrastructure. What do we need? What do we need to advocate for? One thing that would be so great to do is to come up with more interesting things. Like I know there's some cities that have human bollards and they're going into these bike lanes that aren't protected, and so being able to advocate for more protected bike lanes and showing that we need that, and kind of getting out there and doing some guerrilla tactics.
Plungers.
Yeah, plungers is another one. So so that's also a big part of what we do here. So it's very difficult sometimes, because a lot of we all have jobs, and a lot of meetings are during the day, and so it can be difficult to round people up to be able to
Yeah,
attend.
we can only
to
get somebody,
meetings.
at every meeting we get at least 1 or 2 people too, for the most part.
Is that mostly those individuals expressing individuals' opinions, or has Phoenix spokespeople already considered the issues and taken some sort of
Both.
more official stance that's then being
It kind of
represented?
We have board
There.
members, that meet with people in the city.
I learned that technique from Sean as well. It's handy if, you said to me, it's handy if everybody is sort of singing the same song when they go to all these different meetings. So, for example, one time you put out that we want the city to spend X dollars per person on, I forget what it was,
Yeah, for
infrastructure,
them.
whatever. It was
That was our
other
first
cities
budget
are
hearings.
spending 10, we want at least X or whatever. Do you remember that? So.
Yeah, those are kind of our beginning.
We
$1
sometimes
per
kind
capita.
of make it known what we think, but then it's always best if everybody shows up and speaks in their own tone, their own
Yeah.
words.
And collaborating, like Urban Phoenix Project,
Yeah.
we met with them once, but having more meetings with different groups and organizations and supporting them. So,
Cool.
Maybe on that note, I have some experience in videography, so if there's ever events that we'd like to document, that would be right up my alley. So.
Like maybe that overnight ride?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Dave wants to talk about outreach, yeah.
I'd like to say one thing about advocacy. Advocacy on Facebook without tagging the mayor or city council people is frankly useless, especially if you just rant and you don't tag me. But really, the mayor pays attention to Facebook. You should tag the mayor, and stuff will get done. It's just every time I go on Facebook and I see people complaining about infrastructure in Phoenix, I don't see any tags. And to be honest with you, I don't have an official Facebook capacity in my role in the city of Phoenix. I do not look at Facebook from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I appreciate the people who are ranting and want change, but you don't tag the mayor, right, Brandy?
I mean, I think an email is probably a better place to
email is better.
Email, yeah, reaching out to his staff.
Directly.
Sure.
Yeah, because they are, I mean, you know, they're working on these issues. They just had Quinn in there the other day to discuss, like a bike, you know, bikes as part of the Transit 2050 plan. And so, yeah, happy to figure out who the best person is to email within the office.
And we do always have him on the email. So what is your position now with the mayor's office?
I'm a digital media director, so I'm
Okay.
basically overseeing his website and social media and anything else that they kind of throw onto me. So I'm taking that.
That's why I
as
said
well.
Brandy Porter's now on Instagram as Mayor Stanton. I was like, huh.
That's out of the bag. Yeah, that was an abrupt way to announce. Yeah, it's been really exciting, and I've been taking, you know, obviously now it's like I'm always in this capacity, so I'm
Yeah.
here for myself, but I'm here to also bring back here to them.
Awesome.
So yeah, but I would say, you know, he does see some stuff on social media, but honestly, there's a lot of it. So
Yeah, 'cause
even
he
stuff
can't
in
be-
Target, I mean, literally like every single day, and it can be a lot. So sometimes, yeah. So if you don't want it to get lost, I would say just send an email directly to someone on the staff, whether that's me, so I can pass it along, or Nicole. I can send it out.
Did you vote, Bill?
I did.
Okay. You ready? Okay, we are
33.
officially stopping voting.
Ooh, I hope I win.
It's gonna be so close.
It's gonna be close.
How many of us running on?
There's 10 of us running in 10 slots.
Right.
So.
It was 9 and 9.
Someone is afraid
11, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 at large and 2.
Yeah, 10 at large.
All right. I want to hear what Dave says
Yeah.
about outreach.
Are we doing the?
Are we
Really,
going to make the announcement for us?
I mean, the exit polls probably suggest one thing, but are we doing the official announcement?
Okay, I have the results if anybody's interested.
Yes, please.
I think it's going to be like 19-0 on all of them, but that's a hunch.
So there have been 22 ballots counted. Bill McComas is the new president. Wait, why is it just saying Bill McComas? Okay, treasurer is John Walker. Members at large. Dave Tapley. Sherry Geis. Yvette Twainus. Lisa Parks. Joe Perez. Omar Peters. Lara Sands. Suzanne Day. Annie Eldon. And Natasha Hughes. Somehow I didn't put Suzanne Day, I just put Suzanne. So you're like Cher. I don't know why it just says Suzanne, but it does. But yeah. So congrats everybody. Yay!
Breathe now.
Yeah. All right, Dave.
That mean I chair the meeting now?
Yep.
Or you could defend
I give my hat to you.
Dave?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, lots of
Obama.
things. So I was resisting something that urged to interrupt, basically from when Sean interjected to now. And there's a big nebulous mess. I'll just skip all the numbers and everything. But you can ask me if you want to know like how many Facebook likes we have and what the website's doing and who's referring to us and how the mail newsletter's doing. The broad summary is fine. Everything's fine. Like Facebook with linear, where like the newsletter's doing surprisingly well. I don't think we've had one unsub yet, and the open and click rates are like 4x the non-profit average according to MailChimp. So that's good. And so also yay for having help with the newsletter. running theme in everything I'm about to say. What else was there? I'll do that one at the bottom about Xamarin first, even though it's at the bottom. For the last, I think, like 18 months, I've just been paying for a service called Zendesk to run our email, and it also hooks into Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So whenever anyone adds us or mentions us, or we get an email and say hello@psp.bike or .org, it just comes into the Zendesk program. The only problem is it's $25 a month, which I just have been paying the whole time because it's the only sensible thing. But I still think it's way too much for what it is. And despite my protestations, they don't have a non-profit thing. And all the other suites that do this are more. So I found this open source app called Xamarin, which I'm going to try and port us over to. And the great thing about that is then everyone can get loaded onto it. And that speaks again to like, it's cool that we've got lots more people, and I love that there's more people getting involved, but from an IT perspective, it's starting to, like, the cracks are starting to form with like 10 people on the Facebook page. Like, keep resetting your Twitter password every time someone forgets it. And I think the Google stuff's got us a long way, but I think having Xamarin and everyone having like a consistent place to talk is good. And the great thing about Xamarin is it's more ticket oriented than Facebook. So like when Lost Lake messages and say, hey, this is the thing, I can just assign it to Suzanne and do an internal note and say, we have bike racks, right? And she can say yes, and it's all threaded, and then we can public reply, and it's all trapped in one nice ticket. Which would be better, I think, than just text messages on Facebook. So all that said, this increasing conversion along the funnel is, I guess, a very data-y way of saying there's a funnel with all people at one end, and then like people who like bikes, and people who like us on Facebook, and people who come to these board meetings, and then people who go to actual budget hearings. And it's a big funnel, and it starts off with the population of the world, and ends up with 1 to 0 people. And so what I really want to do is try and get a feel for, I feel like we're okay at the wider end. Like we've got quite a lot of people on Facebook, but somehow and the curve is always horrendous online. Like it's just the nature of the beast. Like lots of people will tag, like Joe said, or just rage, but fewer people will tag, and even fewer people will actually go and send an email to the mayor's office. And maybe 1 out of 1,000 will actually come to the meeting. So I think I'd still love to find better ways to pull people in. And this, like, members at large is a good thing, but that's still only 10x. So I'd really like, I don't know if we need to get another committee, but I almost feel like we need a meta management model to have like focus on getting people from like on Facebook to actually coming to budget hearings. So that's kind of where my brain's at. I don't know too much more to say for concrete points. There's lots of good ideas. I know Sean, we spoke about this before. Sean's really got me thinking about this. It's like you're using some military analogy.
You build the army, then you mobilize them, and then you go attack them.
Yeah, I feel like we're very good at building, like it's quite good rapport. I mean, there's crazy numbers of people who never heard of Phoenix spokespeople. And last year I was much more like, we need to get out there and flyer and engage people. But now we just didn't do that effectively. Or we're doing it, like I said, at a linear rate. We're still like half as many people as Teabag, for example, on like our Facebook page. And we're pretty consistently like that. For every 2 they get, we get 1. It's linear with that.
I think we need more, like, we need to go back to more committees like we had before.
Yeah.
Like right now we have Bike Fun and we have, but I think, doing more like engagement, like we talked about doing the hang tags on bikes and stuff like that. And then, more of the, just working with the city and working on that aspect. So I think if we go back to not having a lot of committees because it gets overwhelming, but if you have specific areas where you want to work, I think that's, having that focus is really good. So that I think could really help.
I don't know, do we have any ideas though? I mean, it seems to me like, do we feel like, is the general, I guess by show of hands, the options are, it would be better to just keep trying to get people to like us on Facebook and sign up for the newsletter, kind of more this end. Like, like the number of people riding bikes is going up like crazy, and PSP I think isn't tracking with that. Like we're kind of still, and the Facebook data is crazy. It's like you better be 28 to 37, and our male female is perfect, but you better speak English and have a college degree, and then you're in PSP. Everyone else just dips off. So we can try and work on that. Be like out much more aggressively, getting people to like know the name. Or I think we can focus more on this end of like going and getting people and dragging them to committees.
I think it's we need a little bit of both. I mean, diversify. We don't want to all our eggs in Facebook, and Facebook's not the thing anymore.
Yeah.
Or we never know how their algorithms are going to change when people see our thing. So I really think we just need to do both. I mean, be more proactive and talking to the person on the street and handling a business card. I do that not as often as I should, but often, and but at the same time, find ways to get Facebook and other social media out there.
If you really wanted to grow the numbers a lot, get traditional media.
Yeah.
Get in the Republic. Get on TV, and the way to do that is to have something visual and controversial.
Yeah, it's true.
And the way to do that is to take City Hall to the House and tell them that those slip lanes at First Avenue and Central have to be protected bike lanes, and just screw them to the wall and win that, and then PSP will explode.
I'm gonna have to look at that because the slip drives this serve a purpose.
A rare purpose.
Yeah, but it's a purpose.
And Valley Metro could probably work out how that works. We're a little draconian about how we treat our rails. Other cities are allowed to actually walk over or drive over turn over the rails. Whereas here,
yes, curbed pretty much everywhere.
Cars should never be driving in it. It's not a through lane for a car, but we're pretty draconian in how we turn across them. But those slip lanes are just wasted asphalt. That's just an example. Take something else. Washington, Jefferson, right here.
Something, yes.
I don't know which one I'm pointing actually right now. But Washington right now, they just took a lane out. Armageddon did not happen. So why don't we just leave that lane out and put a cycle track there? Right? It's like if PSP picks up something big, visual, get some TV, get a win, you're going to see that fat part of the funnel hit, and you're going to engage a lot of people who want to move into that.
Jump on board.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why we need a good balance of having our bike fun and getting people engaged and getting people on bikes, but then having that balance of, here's what else we're doing, and we need to, engage in all of those things and draw attention.
Yeah, because there's a big disparity of who comes to every bike ride versus who comes to things like this and the other. We need to get more of those people that come on the bike ride to go to the meetings.
Yeah, and I think doing some of the guerrilla stuff, even, I think people would be interested in going to that. Like, hey, we're going to put a bunch of plungers
Those
in.
that work on the initial system.
Yeah, it was them. They did it.
Should we, we could just make up a list. We all know we could probably come up with like 5 or 6 major grievances in downtown, and then just like do a Facebook poll or something on the website, and like what should PSP do, work on, and then just go crazy till the fall through Christmas.
Yeah, and I think it would be good to have a meeting like we have our bike fun meetings, and have a meeting where we can brainstorm some things, and because our meetings that we have, our monthly meetings or our public meetings, it's kind of like a recap of what we've done. So having those meetings outside of this, because there's just not enough time to sit here and brainstorm this stuff. It's like we need to be able to sit down for a couple of hours and talk about ideas and write them down. Because like right now we've got to kind of wrap it up and get out of here. So we really need that time to.
Yeah, but form a committee like you said, Dave. What'd you call it? The meta something.
Meta management?
Yeah, well, yeah, just what the hell are we doing here? Like,
and then just form the committee and solicit our members who wants to be on this committee, and we'll have a meeting and start start from there.
I like John's idea, I'd much rather that committee be instead of it being a meta committee, it be a find 50 people who are going to actively work on getting something and commit to like at least emailing the mayor or going to a meeting or something.
I think that's a good idea.
How we pick that, of course, is a democratic nightmare.
Right. Okay.
So it's,
They said they're kicking us out at 7?
yeah, we have a couple
Yes,
minutes because
yeah,
we need
they
to
kick
clean
us
up and
out,
wrap up. So we should probably, I mean, you pretty much did a bike fund
Yeah, Mike, when we come back.
update.
Joe kind of covered a lot of the infrastructure things when he introduced himself.
Yeah.
We've done elections.
I would like to say one thing about bike infrastructure is that Sean is right. There needs to be a specific advocacy committee that continually monitors the transportation infrastructure subcommittee agenda, that continually monitors street transportation projects, other projects. Some of the projects that we're still working on, we're looking at Coulter as an alternative to Missouri, which will be challenging in its own right, but getting money to do some studies of that. We're looking for some money to apply for 24th Street from Van Buren down to Magnolia by the airport. We're going to be applying for federal funding for Western Canal. We're going to be applying for funding for Thomas Road on perpendicular connections to the future BRT line. So that's 31st Avenue, 31st Avenue, 39th Avenue, 48th, 47th, 55th Avenue, things like that. We're actively designing 20th Street from Glendale down to the Grand Canal. We're getting ready to hand off Oak Street and 20th Street from the Grand Canal. So, there are lots of projects that are happening, and once they get out of my hands at City Hall, they go to a different organization, the Design and Construction Management, and the public process is largely forgotten at that point. PSP needs to weigh in and ask the mayor and other people to continue to have input to those designs, because those designs can be changed. Oak Street can go from the chicanes and the low impact design, the bioswale and whatever, to nothing if the bicycling community does not maintain vigilance on that project. So,
Basically, you have to make them afraid of you.
well, make them aware that you want what was promised to you.
Well, that's the thing. They have to be afraid that if they don't give it to you, they're going to never hear the end of it and their life will be terrible. Because you can't actually stay on top of them all the time. It's too much work. You can't do it. So you have to be able to have that passive influence through fear.
We have another committee.
Passive influence through fear. That's going to be our new motto, maybe.
With City Hall. That's how
With City Hall.
City Hall.
All right, so I think with that, it's probably a good place to end so we can wrap up, clean up, and be out of here so that the investor.
Can we choose a next meeting date?
So the
since,
next-
for the board, anyway.
Yeah.
Financial report, our treasurer had a family emergency and could not attend, so apologize.
Yeah, I think we
for
can,
that.
we can table that. That's
Yeah,
not that
we
important.
will share that.
And I think we typically do the last Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, typically the last Tuesday.
Tuesdays
Which-
are no good. Tuesdays
Oh.
are no good for our new
Yeah.
membership.
Okay, well,
fulfillment.
let's-
Well, now that we have a new board, I think we might need to come up with a new date too. That's
Right.
going to work with the whole new board.
Let's, we can.
So we can.
We'll make sure everybody here is added to the board Facebook group, and then we
Yeah.
can have a conversation there.
And figure out a date that's going to work with everyone going forward.
So, and then mind if I close this out?
Hey, President.
Just want to say,
We
I'm
need a
really
ballot.
looking forward to being over, and we have to thank Lisa again, because we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Lisa, and all the hard work she's done to get us where we're at, and we've got a long way to go, but we wouldn't be this far if not for Lisa, and we're going to try and just make her cry.
No, if not for all of you.
No,
And Bill's going to do such a great job, the new board.
Questions from any of our new members or audience and Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was hoping to fill all the positions. As the outgoing VP, I know everybody does what I did anyway. So unless I get incapacitated or incarcerated, we can live with that.
Yeah, so we do have vice president and
And
secretary.
And we need a secretary. We
So
need a
I
Yeah.
think in the short term, I'm just gonna take turns asking people, maybe you secretary this meeting, maybe you do this task. And then if somebody finds they like being secretary, our bylaws are such that we can appoint you just with a majority vote, so.
And then if somebody moves into secretary or to vice president, then we can fill those member at large
The same way, I think, too.
positions with somebody else.
Somebody else.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And if anybody's interested, I'm going to Winding Pig for a beer.
I'm going with you.
So, the post board meeting,
Yes.
Post board meeting?
Follow-up, yes.
Who wants to sign a sheet? I think everybody signed in with my help.
we'll give that to our secretary, damn.